Don't get stranded on the side of the road, miles from anywhere. Watch closely and learn to recognize these alternator warning signs. Imagine this all-too-common scenario. You're headed out for work, bright and early, hop into your Peugeot with a sense of purpose, turn the key in the ignition and, well, absolutely nothing happens. Just a click, or maybe silence. Or maybe you're driving at night, enjoying the open road, and your headlights, which should be cutting through the darkness, start to look more like flickering candles than powerful headlights. Sound familiar to anyone? A lot of car owners, maybe even you, have been caught completely off guard by the sudden failure of a failing alternator. That's precisely why it's so incredibly important to know and recognize the early warning signs before you're unceremoniously stuck with a dead car, leaving you stranded and frustrated. Your alternator plays a critical and pretty big role in keeping your car running smoothly and reliably. If it starts to go bad, showing signs of wear and tear, your car might just decide to leave you stranded at the absolute worst possible time and in the most inconvenient location. Think back to the last time your Peugeot felt just a little bit off, maybe a slight hesitation or unusual noise. Did you shrug it off and just ignore it, hoping it would magically disappear? Sometimes the warning signs are right there on your dashboard, clear as day. You just need to be informed and know exactly what to look for in order to catch them early. In this comprehensive guide, I'll explain in detail exactly how to spot a failing or bad alternator in your Peugeot before it causes major problems. I'll break down each of the key symptoms in simple, easy-to-understand steps, so you can confidently check your own car for these telltale signs right now. I'll even ask a few pointed questions along the way, to help you quickly and accurately figure out if your alternator is waving a bright red flag, signaling trouble ahead. Ready to take control and make absolutely sure your Peugeot never leaves you unexpectedly stranded on the roadside? Let's dive right in, get our hands a little dirty, and see exactly how your alternator is currently performing. Let's keep this super simple. Your Peugeot's alternator is like a mini power station for your car. When your engine is running, the alternator makes electricity. This electricity runs your car's lights, radio, and all those electronics you love. Most importantly, it keeps your battery charged up. If the alternator starts to fail, your battery can't recharge. That means your car starts using up the battery until it's out of juice. Without a working alternator, your car won't start, and all those fancy electronics can go haywire. It's a lot like trying to watch TV when the power keeps cutting out. Think of normal alternator behavior as smooth and steady. You turn on your car, everything lights up, and your battery stays healthy. But when the alternator is faulty, things get weird. Lights flicker, warning signs show up, and sometimes your car just dies. So, want to know how yours is doing? Keep listening because I'll show you exactly what to check step by step. The first and most obvious sign is the dashboard battery warning light. On your Peugeot, this usually looks like a little battery symbol. If this light comes on while you're driving, it's your car's way of shouting, "Hey, something's wrong with the charging system." Normally, this light turns on briefly when you start the car and then goes off. But if it stays on, even for a few minutes, don't ignore it. That means your alternator might not be charging the battery. Think of it kind of like a check engine light, but for your car's power system. Have you noticed the battery light staying on, flickering, or coming on while you're driving? If so, your alternator could be in trouble. Try this. Next time you start your car, watch the dashboard for any warning lights. Make a note if anything seems unusual. Don't shrug off that little red light. It's honestly one of the simplest ways your Peugeot tells you something's not right with your alternator. Here's another classic symptom. Your headlights or interior lights look dim, weak, or start flickering. When your alternator is working right, all your lights should be steady and bright. But when it's failing, the voltage drops, and things start to get funky. Have you ever been driving at night and noticed your headlights seem darker than usual? Or maybe they get brighter or dimmer as you speed up or slow down? That's a big clue your alternator isn't keeping up. It's struggling to send power to your lights, so they start to fade or flicker. This doesn't just happen outside. Your dashboard, center console, or dome lights can also dim or flash. Take a look next time you're in your Peugeot. Do your lights look normal? Try turning on your headlights with the engine running and with it off. Notice any difference? If you spot dim or flickering lights, it's time to pay attention. Don't wait for total darkness. A bad alternator can make your Peugeot sound different. Listen closely when your car is running. Do you hear whining, grinding, or squealing noises from the engine bay? The alternator has moving parts, and if they start to fail, you'll hear it. Electrical gremlins are another sign. This means weird things start happening with your car's electronics. The radio cuts out, windows move slowly, or the air conditioning acts up. Normally all these systems should work smoothly, but with a faulty alternator they might act strange or stop working altogether. Have you noticed any odd sounds when you rev the engine? Or maybe your power windows are sluggish? Try this: start your car, turn on all the electronics, radio, air conditioning, lights, and listen. Does anything sound out of the ordinary or act strangely? If you hear weird noises or your electronics go haywire, your alternator might be the culprit. Don't ignore these early warning signs. We've already covered some big obvious warning signs that your Peugeot's alternator might be failing. These are the kinds of issues that really grab your attention. But the truth is, there are even more subtle clues that can indicate your alternator is in trouble, often before it leads to a complete failure. Here's a quick rundown of some extra symptoms you might notice, things that might seem minor at first, but could point to a developing alternator problem. First, hard starting or frequent stalling. If your Peugeot takes several tries to start, cranks slowly, or stalls out suddenly while you're driving, a weak or failing alternator could very well be to blame for these issues. It might not be providing enough power to keep the engine running smoothly. Normally, with a healthy electrical system, your car should fire up quickly with minimal hesitation and run steady without any unexpected hiccups. Second, a dead battery. If you find yourself with a battery that keeps dying repeatedly, even after successfully jump-starting it, the problem might not actually be with the battery itself, despite what you might initially think. The alternator could be failing to properly recharge the battery as you drive, leading to its eventual depletion and leaving you stranded. Third, a burning smell. Sometimes, when an alternator is struggling or internally damaged, it can overheat significantly. This overheating can produce a distinct burning smell, often described as burning rubber or a hot electrical odor. This is definitely not a normal or good sign. If you suspect something is amiss, carefully pop the hood and take a sniff around the engine bay to see if you can pinpoint the source of the smell. Fourth, accessory failures. Are your windshield wipers moving slower than usual? Are your seat heaters struggling to get warm? Is your dashboard infotainment system flickering or acting erratically? A failing alternator can cause a wide range of seemingly unrelated electronic failures throughout your Peugeot. Fifth, unusual gauge readings. Take a close look at your car's voltage gauge on the dashboard, if your Peugeot is equipped with one. Under normal operating conditions, the voltage reading should typically be somewhere between 13 and 14.5 volts when the engine is running. Readings that are consistently lower than this range or that fluctuate erratically could indicate a problem with your alternator's ability to maintain a stable charge. So, go on. Take a few minutes to check your own car for any of these symptoms right now. It's always best to be proactive when it comes to car maintenance. Have you noticed any of these warning signs or unusual behaviors in your Peugeot lately? Even seemingly small things can be important. Carefully write down everything you find, noting the frequency and severity of each symptom. This information will be invaluable when you explain the issues to a qualified mechanic. The more signs you spot that align with these potential alternator problems, the more likely it is that you're dealing with a genuine alternator issue that needs attention. Don't wait for a total breakdown to occur, leaving you stranded on the side of the road. Addressing these early warning signs can save you a lot of hassle and expense in the long run. Okay, so you've spotted one or more warning signs on your Peugeot. Maybe a light flickered or a sound caught your attention. What's the next step you should take? What should you do now? First and foremost, don't panic. It's easy to get stressed when something seems wrong with your car, but staying calm will help you make the right decisions. Driving a short distance, perhaps to get home or to a safer location, is usually okay, but you definitely shouldn't push your luck or ignore the warning signs for too long. If your Peugeot is displaying several symptoms simultaneously, indicating a more serious issue, especially if you see a battery light illuminated or notice your headlights are unusually dim, it's crucial to get it checked by a professional as soon as possible. The sooner the better. Addressing the problem early can prevent further damage and more costly repairs down the line. Waiting and hoping the problem will disappear will only leave you stranded and inconvenienced. Book a visit to your trusted local mechanic or your nearest Peugeot dealership service center. When you speak with them, tell them exactly what you saw, what you heard, and when you noticed the issue. The more information you provide, the easier it will be for them to diagnose the problem. If you're handy with cars and have some experience, you can check the alternator output yourself using a simple voltmeter. It's a relatively straightforward process. When the engine is running, aim for a voltage reading between 13 and 14.5 volts. This test should be performed with the engine running, of course. But if you're unsure about any of these steps, or feel uncomfortable working on your car, it's always best to let the pros handle it, and avoid potential mistakes. While you're taking a look under the hood, take a few minutes to carefully check your battery terminals for any signs of corrosion or damage. Also, inspect the condition of your serpentine belt. Sometimes the underlying problem isn't a faulty alternator, but simply a loose belt that needs tightening or a corroded connection that's preventing proper electrical flow. In such cases, the alternator itself might be perfectly fine. A quick inspection and some basic maintenance can save you a lot of money and prevent future headaches. If you found this guide helpful and informative, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and share it with your friends and family. I'm always posting new tips and tricks, all designed to help you keep your car running strong and reliably for years to come. Got any questions about car maintenance or want to learn more about a specific topic? Drop a comment down below or follow the channel for more easy-to-understand car care advice.